trying to make a wage now. Money, 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 money makes the world go round. I need money, 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 money. Money got me feeling down. They said go and chase the dreams, but never told me that I have to wake up.
Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to another Money Conversations with Mars. My name is Marshall Weeks, also known as Money Mars, licensed financial coach. I hope you all have enjoyed your summer as it is coming to a close for some states. The last time I was here, we discussed student accounts, or I should say investment accounts for future students or for our students now who will be adults later on. And we discussed investing money for them. And so in sticking with the theme, since we're, toward the end of summer break, I want to talk about some practical for clothes for those of us who school year required uniforms. So I think we did a great job by purchasing our uniforms early on. As soon as they were available for purchase, because as I talked about with you all 2 weeks ago, July is a big competition month for my daughter who dances. So that's an expense. 2 trips is expensive. I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to stick a pin in that statement because I want to come back to that. I hope that I remember. So we purchased the uniforms early so it wouldn't interfere with the trip expenses. So, planning is important. Sometimes, or most of the times, I would say we have the money. It's just poor planning. And I get into instances where I may not forget, didn't put it on my calendar, looked at something, read the email, opened up the envelope at the last minute. We all have that. And then it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't plan for this and now I have to take it from something else, or, I'm purchasing this and had I planned it, it wouldn't have hurt so bad. So that's life. It happens. Whether you have a lot of money or a little, we still sometimes forget because we have a lot going on. So let me go back and pull that pin out because I do remember. So in life, how we run across people. At first, you meet people, we all formulate our story, our impression of the person who's before us. And in my mind, I'm thinking of a person that I see frequently at the dance studio. It's another parent that I really like. She's really cool. And she has daughters who are older. So, I think this is her second or third daughter who's coming through the studio. And before we left for this last competition in New Jersey, the girls were practicing. Now, her daughter's older than mine, so we're not in the same group. But again, we go to the same studio. So we were at the desk and, we were discussing the taps on the bottom of the kids' shoes, our tap dancers. And they posted a picture in our group chat of our studio owner and the main tap instructor, how she literally was sitting at a desk at the hotel or at the convention center and covered were taps, and she was screwing taps back onto shoes. And so we were discussing, making sure our taps are tight on our shoes, and, we may need to go out and buy another pair of tap shoes, so forth and so on. And so somehow in the conversation, we started talking about school supplies. Now, again, remember how I said we meet people, we formulate our story. And if you see people frequently over time, you get to know them. So then you may gather more facts that either take away from the impression or the story, because this isn't a good or bad impression, but adding on to the story, adding on to the descriptors of this person, right? Keeping this like tally in your head of descriptors, what you think about when you see this person. And so I know her to be financially sound. Just again, talking to her over these years, she made a statement. She says to me, my kids go to school on the first day of school with a notebook and a pencil. I'm not buying all that stuff. She said, they send out these crazy lists. I am not spending that money. It's too expensive. I wait until the teacher sends home the papers, and then I will go out and get what that teacher needs. I'm not going out and buying the whole supply list for the whole grade or the or the county school list. And so what I have found, folks, that financially sound people still think things are expensive. It isn't like, oh, they have so much money, they just throw it here and throw it there. Some people are wealthy because they know how to keep it. Does that make sense? They spend money, but they may pick and choose. So they may go on very nice trips, or they may look regular, but they may have an item on that kind of clues you in, right? I'm an observant person, especially money things, and I'm always looking at people. And I have found that amongst us regular folk, let me say that, the wealthy people I see, I'm not talking about Instagram wealthy, social media wealthy, celebrity wealthy, because that's, that whole, their persona and what they want the rest of the world to think, so we'll like them and buy their stuff. Folks, you got to know that, right? They're like walking marketing, right? But amongst the regular folks of the world, wealthy people do not look like social media. So anyway, let's get into my topic, because I feel like that's a great segue to get into the topic of shopping for school. Very practical. Money is life, life is money. I'm going to share my screen. And folks, this isn't rocket science. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I do. I totally took that parent's advice. She wasn't advising me. We were just talking. And I said, you know what? She is so right. I'm not buying all that stuff. I waited. And I'm going to tell you what else I did. So first, back to school shopping. You see my little people right here. Daniel started the 3rd grade. Olivia started the 4th grade. So let me tell you what I did last night. Let you see me before I go into my notes. I typically in the past, I buy the school supplies, right? And if it's cheaper, let's say the notebooks, the spiral notebooks or the theme pads or the colored pencils, whatever, let's just say it's like a clearance or something. Or if I walk into Target or Walmart or the Dollar Tree and I see, oh, this item is 50 cents less than it typically is in August, or, whatever sale, I tend to buy a few more, 2, 3 more than I need. And I put it in this closet. I have, that's the school supply closet. I have drawers, like the little drawers on top of the big drawers, and they're labeled. And that's where the school supplies are. Now, I've had to put my foot down, verbally threaten little people to not raid the school supply inventory. What I did last night, thinking about that dance mom and what she said, I went through what we had and gathered things together. So these lists, school lists, school supply lists, which these were pretty good. I was shocked. It wasn't like a 2-page list, right? I went in and gathered things from last year, even if the crayons were slightly used. Colored pencils may not have been in the box. I gathered them together, put them in plastic bags, and labeled them because they can still use. What do we say? Broken crayon still color. I sharpened pencils. I have a whole drawer of pencils. They have pencil cups in their rooms. I went through old pencil bags, and I'm not talking about like from 2 to 3 years ago. I'm talking about last school year when we bought all the things, and the years before buying all the things. I went around and gathered a lot of the stuff. Now, what I did today, my husband and I, we went to Target and we refreshed the inventory, but they're going to use that stuff from last year because we bought it and it's fine. And I sharpened all of the color pencils. Helping Olivia clean out our room yesterday, we found a brand new box of colored pencils. Now, they're not Crayola. They were some other brand. Like I said, I probably found at Walmart that was on sale. She's going to use those colored pencils. I will not be in bondage to school supply name brands. Do you hear me? So, if you have not gone to Walmart and Target and purchased the entire county list or school list, see what's left over from last year, and don't be ashamed to get a Ziploc bag or whatever bag and label that thing and put their crayons in there. Even if for the first couple of weeks, people are coming off vacations and things like that, they may not want to spend the money even if they have it. They may want to do something else with it. Wait a couple of weeks just to see, right? Now, I'm not telling anybody to not buy school supplies at all if it's needed. I'm not trying to tell anyone to mooch off of someone else who's going to buy all the supplies. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying check the book bags from last year. Check the pencil boxes in their rooms. My son has, I know, 100 some odd colored pencils in his personal stash, not the inventory stash, but the personal stash. This is like collection over the years. You know, the kids get birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and random gifts and birthday party treats and things like that. Crayons and colored pencils and markers. And I went around and collected things. I went in my office, highlighters, and come on. If we have it in the house, we bought it to use it. So why not use it? Anyway, let me get off that soapbox. But what I'm saying is I gathered things so they could have them. I didn't put anything that was necessarily raggedy in good condition so they can use them. They're kids. Then when we went to Target, we got the things that we needed and items we saw that were on sale, deep sale. We bought a few to replace the inventory. And again, you know, we had to have the talk about if you need a pencil, crayons, or whatever, check your room first. Do not go to the supply cabinet because at the end of August or going into September, when the crayons are broken, you know, from use or the colored pencils have been sharpened down, they'll get a brand new pack. You know what I mean? So anyway, here are my back to school tips. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. Here we go. All right, so we're going to be patient. Like I said, if you have not received a list from the actual teacher, it's okay, in my opinion, to send them to school with the notebook and the paper like that mom said. Like, she really blessed my life. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm kind of like a veteran in the game. My kids Olivia will be 10 this year, Daniel will be 9. We know how this goes. I'm not buying all of that stuff until I know for sure what it is that this teacher wants, right? So let's be patient and let's just wait. We're going to shop the sales. Shop the sales. I know it's already the end of July. We're going into August, but for the future, if we see the colored pencils, the glue, I'm looking at the list, the ruler, the markers, the Kleenex, the disinfectant wipes, the Post-it notes, the index cards. If we see this stuff on sale on June 25th or something, we're going to get it and we're going to put it up. So when school rolls around, we're ahead of the game, okay? Next, we're going to look for the student discounts. Those of us who have the older kids, they may need a laptop or a Chromebook or, you know, whatever device they may need that. Places like Best Buy, I even know when I was in undergrad, whenever it was time to get the computer or the printer, we always went for the student package because they gave you everything for a great deal. So look for that. I have a Best Buy account. I get the text messages throughout the time. They've been having some 50% off and this sale and that holiday sale. Some of this stuff, folks, we could be buying early and putting it on the shelf, right? So the kids will make it all raggedy by the time, they really need it. But look for the student discounts. Buy used when appropriate. So what is the average lifespan of a laptop? Now, the laptop that I'm on, it's really time for me to get another one, but I said as long as it works, I'm going to hold on to this because I really want a MacBook again. My other Mac died on me after 3 years. That was really sad. Like, I probably needed to take some bereavement leave because I was so in love with it. If you've never used a MacBook, folks, it's a completely different experience than a PC. But anyway, I love this PC. When I went to grad school, I purchased this, or no, not grad school, it was my graduate certificate. I purchased this and it's going strong. I said, as long as it works, but let's just say this were to break today or something, I wouldn't be afraid to buy like a used laptop or something in the meantime until getting what I want. So like if you have a student and let's just say their Chromebook or laptop is on on ICU right now, don't be afraid to go on eBay. Yes, folks, eBay is still around. Mercari, that's one of my favorites. Facebook Marketplace. And then they have like dozens of sites out here, these yard sale sites. You even have some sites that are just for a particular county. And it's just people in that county who are, buy, sell, trade. Don't be afraid to look for those as, like a placekeeper to get you by until you can really get what you want. Because sometimes if we haven't put the money away or in an emergency, we may buy the cheapest thing, but it may not be what we want, or it may not be the quality that we want. So buy used. Even with clothes, let's talk about that for a few minutes. Now, it was easier when the kids were much smaller. There is this store, and I can't think of the name, of course, right now, but it's like a gently used clothing store for kids. And we used to bundle up the kids' things, take it, sell back stuff, buy new stuff. Now, of course, when the kids are smaller, it seems like people are constantly buying them clothes, right? When they're like babies and toddlers, they're just so cute and adorable, and you are just buying all these clothes for them. As they get older, it may, be a little harder to do that because they may not have, I don't know, this particular clothing store whose name that I cannot remember right now, they tend to have nice things. Like if we need a particular color of an item, or we're looking for something that we just need to use one time, I typically will go there. But sell back the things, if you sell on Amazon or you sell on Facebook, Mercari, again, that's another site. I love Mercari. It's very easy to use. Sell some stuff, buy things used. I just purchased a fax machine off Mercari for business use because I know I'm only going to use it here and there. So I just bought, the last one I had, which I gave it away because I think I purchased it for like 20 some bucks. I wasn't going to sell that. Like I just gave it away. But anyway, folks, don't be afraid to buy used. Spread out purchases if applicable. Now, this may be controversial what I'm about to say. You have these sites, Affirm and Klarna. Now, by no means am I telling you to use it to buy things that you can't afford. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you need to make a large purchase, or let's say you have several kids and their pants are at their ankles and their toes are sticking out of their shoes, and it's a lot of them, you may want to use Klarna or Affirm so you can go out and shop responsibly, shop in the sales, the clearance. We're sticking to places like Old Navy. That's a great store to not spend a lot of money, to get some things that they need to start them out. Keep it in mind, the gently used stores. That store whose name I still can't remember is amazing for little kids. I think we kind of stopped going there once the kids hit second and third grade. You can find things hit or miss, but you know, Target, they still have that table with $5 and $6 things. That's what I'm saying. Shop wisely the places that really cater to kids. Children's Place, that is another site that is awesome. Now, if you have older kids, now their things are going to be more expensive. Again, use Klarna and Affirm to spread out your purchases, and not necessarily purchases is the wrong word, so you can pay for it over time. That's if you are responsible, disciplined. If you do have 3-4 kids, I attended a meeting for our school, and one of the parents joked, she joked about herself. She said, I have a lot of kids, and I'm going to have to get all of these kids uniforms. Is it okay if I, go to Walmart or somewhere and get this particular color shirt opposed to buying the emblem shirt? Is my baby going to get in trouble if they don't come with the emblem on? And the principal's really cool. She was like, absolutely not. Your baby will not get in trouble, and she will not called out as long as they're in school colors. The preferred or the preference is the emblem on the school of the school on the shirt. However, it's understandable, right? So you may have to purchase one shirt a piece and then wait till payday and buy some more shirts or pants and things like that. So just, we're using wisdom. We're putting our budget on paper on an Excel spreadsheet or use an app. I love Mint. I told you all that as well. So we can see and spread out our purchases, because we want to make this easy. But going back to the first slide, we want to be patient and not feel like we have to, because we don't. A lot of times, this have to get this is in our head, and it's the environment that we're in. And as I said, folks, the naturally sound, regular people, okay, who are not walking marketing, you understand what I'm saying? Who don't care about the likes and the loves and the this and the followers and the this, and they have money. They don't care about certain things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me give this as an example, and it is not to be offensive. It is an observation. When I see children who are labeled brand name down, but then you hear things like, I can't afford to put them in karate. I can't afford to put them in dance. Well, would you rather the child have an experience to learn something they can take with them, or must they be in Jordans and whatever labels that they're wearing? Does that make sense? Because it just seems that we should invest our money in extracurricular activity opposed to the shoes on their feet or the clothes on their back. And I find that the wealthy, regular people do not shop where we think we shop. I think some of us feel that, wealthy people, you may go to someone's house and they have a big, beautiful, glorious house, big, beautiful, glorious home, and then you think that everyone should have on a pair of Jordans. And I'm just throwing that out there because that is like a popular thing. It's not that I have anything against Jordans. I don't have anything against Jordans. My son has a pair of used Jordans that we found in that kids store, because sometimes they have really nice sneakers, but they're gently used. And he has a pair of Jordans. But have we walked in a Nike store to buy him Jordans? The devil is a liar. No, ma'am, and no, sir. However, we invest a considerable amount of money into his karate every month, because I think that's more important than the shoes on his feet, because that 8-year-old is a terror on a pair of shoes. So, tangent, I think I've made my point. Spread out your purchases. And then last but not least, buy quality. So remember how I said with the computer, Let's say the computer or whatever device breaks down. Then we're in a pickle because we really need it. I don't know too many people who can go on without their laptop or their phone because, even the cell phone is like a mini computer. So there are going to be times where we have to purchase something on the cheaper side because we're in a crunch if we don't have an emergency fund. For some things, we may want to buy quality so we don't have to keep buying it over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense? So I'm trying to think of another example outside of electronics because PCs, unless you get like the top of the top of the top, PCs are pretty inexpensive. Like they're really not expensive. It's the Apple products that will take you out financially. However, if you've saved for them, you have that emergency fund that kicks in. Let's use a pair of shoes or shirts. Now, I have found that certain items from Children's Place are not quality. Some of the items, you would really have to shop there to figure that out. Or if you have a son like mine who's very rough on pants, we tend to purchase the pants with the reinforced knees because he's a boy. My son is boy 3000. So he is on his knees, rolling on the floor, whatever. So it's like we need reinforced knees because if we don't, there's going to be a hole in those pants. Okay. So a situation like that, we may pay the extra couple of bucks to get the enforced knees so we don't have to keep buying him pants. Does that make sense? Quality. You may want to purchase a certain detergent that may be gentler on the clothes so they don't look so harsh. Things of that nature. Other examples, book bags. Oh my goodness. You may want to purchase a book bag that's a little tougher than maybe the $10 or $15 bag. So you don't have to keep buying them bags over the year. Sometimes you can get a nice quality bag that they can take 2 years in a row. Things like that. A lunch bag, reusable lunch bag. Some people may say, well, we have the brown paper bags, but you're going to be buying those all year. So what if you just went and purchased an insulated bag that they can use, or an insulated thermos to put their hot and cold beverages in? They bring lunch, hot insulated containers to put in that insulated bag to keep their lunch warm, opposed to having to buy these bags over and over and over and over again. And when you add that up, you might as well have just gotten something that you can wipe out. Does that make sense? So those are my back to school tips. Because you should prosper. Why else, right? We all want to make great decisions and we want our money to be long. We want to do our best to keep our money, hold on to our money, get bang for our buck, but being wise about it. Having children is expensive. We love them, but blessings, they cost money. You know what I mean? And just make sure, again, be patient. Buy quality, budget your money. Don't feel like you have to have this and you have to have that. The first few days of school, they're not doing any hardcore work yet anyway. The teachers are still getting acclimated. They're still doing assigned seats. Take it easy. We need to give ourselves grace. And like I said, what that mom said blessed me so much. I was so comfortable and casual last night when I remembered that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going out here and getting all of this, rushing to get all of this stuff. It's like, I'm going to go around this house. I'm going to gather what we have. They'll go to school with something, and then we'll go and get the rest of the stuff. So remember, all throughout the school year, have your eyes peeled when you're out shopping for something else, or in the store, you see something on sale, go on and get it for next year. They're going to need it, right? So that's been the back to school tips. Thank you for joining me. The Fab Five is back 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And then we have Miss Regina Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Make sure you come back here. Like, share, tell a friend about the WIN Network. We appreciate you all, and I appreciate you for watching. And I hope you took some notes because you really should prosper. Take care.
Trying to make a ways now. Money, 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 money makes the world go